Welcome to Rebel Squadron. The Empire is spreading terror across the galaxy, and we need your help to break its iron grip.
Activate debriefing.
It's nice of you to show up, recruit. Now let's get to work. Welcome to today's tactical debrief. This debriefing will provide the bare minimum that you need to know for this raid. Now, phase 1 is going to be the toughest phase of the fight. It's more of a finesse fight with some RNG luck. First thing you're going to want to do is take out that B2 Super Battle Droid immediately. Don't, it's going to drop some ability blocks on you and it's going to ruin your day. Grievous, every 7th hit against him, he's going to gain a tactical maneuvering buff. It provides him with 25% offense, 10% turn meter for every ally of his that you hit. Now, what you're going to want to do is try to time that 7th attack with Commander Luke Skywalker. Theoretically, when he hits Grievous, it should not trigger that buff of his. Now, if his buff does activate, it's going to be very difficult to recover, if not impossible. There's a very high chance that you're going to have to retreat from the fight and restart the raid. Now, this isn't a big deal. If it happens, don't stress out about it. It's just going to take you a little bit longer to get through the raid. Now, phase 2 is going to be the second toughest fight of the phase, or the second toughest fight of the raid. It's a bit more of a brawl with a little less finesse. And the tank is going to start with 15 turns. Your goal is going to be to topple the tank on every odd turn. This is going to maintain a steady rhythm throughout the fight, and it's going to give you a better chance to get all the damage that you need to take down the tank before the end of the phase. What I like to do is focus on the main tank until the turn meter is almost full. Now, what you're going to want to do is take down all of the turrets before the full turn meter pops on the main tank. If you're unsure that you can take down the turrets before the tank meter fills up, go ahead and just take them right out, just to be safe. And the general goal is to knock down 10% of the tank's health per topple. And what I prefer to do is take out the middle turret first, because that does give a lot of damage compared to the other two turrets. Getting the fight with this particular squad, Wampa is going to be weaker at the start of the phase. So you want to weaken those turrets first before you try to take them out with his icebreaker attack. Or at least the first couple of turns. Phase 3, it is possible to auto this fight. Depends on the full strength of your squad. The stronger you are, the more likely you'll be able to get through it without having to really mess with it. So the B2 Rocket Trooper is going to place a buff on one of his clankers while directing fire. What you're going to want to do is take this clanker out immediately as soon as that buff pops up. Because if you don't, it's going to launch a devastating special attack, and it's going to cause a lot of problems for you. Want to pay attention to the AAT main cannon in the back. It will fire at you occasionally, So remember, you want those buffs on your squad, otherwise they're going to take major damage from the main cannon. Now, phase 4 is also possible to auto this phase. Again, it depends on the strength of your squad. Time there are going to be twin B2 super battle droids flanking the tank. Once again, you're going to want to take those B2 droids out immediately, otherwise they're going to drop some ability blocks on your squad, and you do not want to start over at this point. Well, every time you topple the tank, once it recovers, it's going to call in an airstrike this time around. And you want to make sure you got your buffs on your squad, otherwise they're going to take a devastating amount of damage. I've almost lost an entire squad before with that airstrike, so you want to make sure that your squad is buffed. Now we have the squad dossiers for this squad. And Luke Skywalker has the Use the Force ability, which grants a buff immunity to the target. And the reason why this is so useful is that even if you miss time that 7th attack, that buff immunity will prevent Grievous from getting that buff and ruining your day. Plus, I've given him potency mods, and he currently has 100.73% potency. Even with 100%, it still happens where that buff doesn't land, or the buff immunity does not land. So it's just, that goes back to the whole RNG factor. From Yoda, he has Master Training, which will give you a lot of assists from your squad and really helps to increase your overall damage output. Also outfitted him with some speed and health mods. With Wampa, he has the Furious Foe ability, which increases his damage output. Gives him a plus 40% boost to his accuracy, crit chance, and offense. You want to hit that thing as many times as you can. Now, it does stack, but only until the end of the phase. At the start of the next phase, it does reset back to his basic stats, so you want to make sure you keep that in mind. By the end of the phase, he should be cranking out a ton of damage. Wampa, he's outfitted with potency and crit damage mods, because he does actually do a lot of debuffs with his attacks, and the crit damage, he 9 times out of 10 he's gonna crit, and you want that increased damage. And Solo he's just heavy DPS all the way. Now I've also outfitted him with crit damage and crit chance mods, and he currently has 229.5% crit damage and 87.71% crit chance. He's constantly critting with his attacks, and so you want to make sure, once again, that he's got that crit damage. BB-8 goes, his big thing is Illuminated Destiny, which gives extra turns to your entire squad. So BB-8, like Hermit Yoda, really helps to increase your overall damage output. This works is when the allies use their special abilities while they're buffed with secret intel, it will cool down the Illuminated Destiny timer. So you keep cycling those special abilities in the secret intel, and that Illuminated Destiny will give you some extra punch.
Recruit dismissed.